So, how long have we been playing League for since we're in Iron?
February 2020.
So you're still pretty new. Like the community as a whole is pretty old.
Yeah, almost 2 years into the game, still pretty new. Yeah, it's just.
No, it's true, dude. This communities are really old. You play mainly Garen top. That's like your main champ.
Yeah, it was what these guys, that my brother who I play with and cousin and buddy of theirs, Garen is very mechanically easy. They said start with him and just to learn the game. And as I, got better and stuff, I just found him really fun and satisfying to play. So I stuck with him, and there's still plenty I need to get better at, and not having to focus on a complicated kit helps me be better elsewhere.
Even though Garen is really simple since he's melee, in a lot of ways he can be more challenging because once you're in, you're in. But he's a great beginner champion. Whenever you're up against like a heal matchup, someone who's good, who's probably gonna rush Bork, like Jax, Irelia, or Set, you can rush Bramble, especially if their jungler's AD. It's not a bad choice since you have Ignite. It's not 100% necessary though. It is just something to think about since their jungler and top lane are both AD.
Typically, my first buy is maybe, I don't know. I don't tend to rush items based on matchup because it's like, I tend to have to do a lot of work mid to late game, and if I itemize just for my top lane match, I feel like I'm missing out where I can be helpful later in the game.
No, that's a fair point. Just keep in mind that Bramble's good against everyone on their team except for the Xerath, especially if you're gonna itemize. You typically doing it if it makes sense against their top and jungler. They're both AD auto based. You can see my cursor right on Discord.
I cannot.
Okay, I'll swap it. That's unfortunate.
Minions and stuff.
Yeah, I'll just share screen one. 60 FPS, 1080. All right, can you see my cursor now?
Yep.
Cool. All right, so the first thing you'd want to do when you get to lane is you generally want to get at least 3 autos down on the first minion. This is going to give you prio to whenever he goes into last hit, you've already finished off your minion, so you get to trade off with him and auto queue him. So getting to lane first is actually a really big advantage when you actually take advantage of it. So just keep that in mind. You could put down 3 autos on one on the other, because you know how the 3 melee minis generally die at the same time and it can be hard to get all of them. Typically I've been juggling it. So if you stair step it, this one has 3 autos, this one has 1, and then this one has none. Then generally the one that has 3 should die first, this one, then that one. It makes it a lot easier. So basically you should have already gotten down 3 autos or so. Now you're both just going to be trying to juggle as they all get down super low. I don't know why it just did that, but...
my thought process on that was I like to fight the wave closer to my tower for safety and ganking purposes. So I just tend to let my minions auto their minions down.
Yeah.
And I last hit.
At the times, that's the right thing to do, especially if you're going to set up a freeze or something. In the early game, though, generally 95% of junglers are not going to gank before like the 2-minute, 45-second mark. So typically the first 3 waves, it's just going to be you and your laner.
Okay.
So what your thought should be is when you go in here, is you don't want to, even if he is standing up far, you want to specifically be standing close to your minion outside of his auto range, and right when he goes in for the last hit, then you auto Q him. So while he's autoing this, your auto's hitting him, and then you can smack him with Q and back off. So this was close, but he technically wasn't going in for a last hit when you went in, so you took 2 autos. But you are ahead in HP, so even after that trade, even though your Q's down, you would be really good to just stand on top of your minion, even press S if you need to stop, and then hit him right when he goes in for that one. So as he's hitting the minion, you're hitting him. Whenever you do that, you're forcing them to either miss a CS, to either eat an auto for free, trade autos, or they're going to get the CS but lose more and more HP to eventually you can just shove them off waves. But at this point, whose wave is pushing to who? By taking a quick glance at the minions.
My wave is pushing into his.
No. His wave is pushing into you. So you guys have equal melees, 3 and 3.
Oh, got him.
Yeah, and then he has 5 range creeps. Range creeps are generally what decides the wave push because they do so much damage. And even if a range creep is 1 HP, your minions can't get to it because they're all just killing the front line. So his wave's going to push really hard to you here. But that means he's also at a minion advantage. And in a solo lane, you only need 7 minions to hit level 2. So right when he hits this minion, he's going to be level 2. So just watch out for that.
Okay.
Boom, now he's 2. So even though you are more HP on him now, he could actually out-trade you here.
Okay.
So that's one of the advantages. If we got the slight shove on wave, we could have taken better trades with him earlier, hitting the level 2 advantage, all-in him with the QE. And people at this elo, they don't know when they're going to hit level 2. They just know they're going to hit it at some point.
Okay.
But nice Q trade. He didn't level up his ability in time. He has it now at this point, though. So you're still going to need your 7th minion. There we go. Level 2 now. So
I didn't know it was a finite 7 minions.
Yes.
From now on, I will rush to get the first 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to last hit minions, let his wave push into mine, get a little closer to tower.
Yeah, you're taking pretty good trades with him, though. Nice. So after you get this kill, you take a quick visual and you say, is my wave pushing to him? Because if you leave, when your wave's pushing to him, he's going to catch a tsunami and get a bunch of XP. Or you say, is his wave pushing to me? When you take the quick count, you have 3 melees, he has 3 melees, and then you see he has more range creeps than you. So his wave's going to push to you. If you back right now, even if he doesn't TP, when you come back, his wave's going to be a tsunami ready for you to grab. So here, we actually don't need to stay. Like here, we would be better off backing, because if we stay, we're going to lose a lot of tempo.
Well, and the reason I stay in that, I'm like, oh, that's the canyon wave. I want to stay for that. I definitely want to get the canyon, not miss that gold. So I stay for that.
Right.
But I see what you mean by how his whole wave just would have pushed mine, and
now
the canyon probably still would have been there by the time I got back.
Most likely, you would have missed 2 to 3 melee creeps, but he's forcing his TP, and you're gonna be in a much better state in lane. Now you're gonna miss CS because he's gonna push you off, and you're low, and he has more items than you. So even though you are at a gold advantage, well, I don't know why he didn't spend his gold. He's sitting on, I guess he only has 285, so he should have bought in I don't know what he did. He should have gotten a refill or something. But technically, you should be at an item deficit here, but he just didn't really spend his gold, or he should have bought in several potions. So just trade off immediately. If they have more HP, if you can manage to find the QE trade right as their silence is ending, just pull off the trade. Because if he grabbed you here, it'd be really bad, because he even has minion advantage, and you'd be fighting closer into his wave, and he has more HP. So if you are going to take a greedy trade, just like pull off as your silence is ending. And yeah, now at this point, we kind of need to back. This was the problem with us staying, because now it sets us up to be really low HP to where he can just eventually trade us down.
Yeah, I thought about going back after that first kill, but canyon. But now that I know that the best, that was that.
Whenever you're spinning on top of people, if they have a specific move like the set cone, let's try to move through them on our E to make it harder for them to land it in the center. So just stay mobile when you're on your E, essentially. But now we're actually has double RCS, so we went from being in the we win lane by default to now we, in this type of matchup, the 50-50 skill. Now he's level 6. We just gotta let this wave push to us now. We can't trade with him anymore. Especially since he has a vampiric. Even if you trade off 100-200 health, Irelia, Jack, Set, a lot of bruiser tops are rushing Bork these days. Like, he's gonna get all this health back, and you're not.
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
Right. Like
I said to myself, shit, he's already back at full health after that trade.
Yeah, so he's pushing this wave to you, so you don't even have to step up. You can just wait for it to crash. You just need to keep your HP high. If you ever fall below half health, or honestly, if you lose just a third, you're diveable. It probably doesn't happen to you in this elo, but as you climb higher, when you're half health or lower, you're going to get dove a lot when they're pushing in minions, because they'll just walk up to you with a teammate and
I kept waiting for him to do that, actually, because he had his R, and he never did it, so I just kind of stayed.
It'd be hard for him to solo you. He'd have to hit the center cone. Junglers in this elo, generally, they'll like see on the minimap you're under your turret, and they don't care how low you are. They just won't go because you're under your turret. So even though you're obviously diveable, Zin's just not going to show up. It's fine if like the cone edges hit you. It's just like the center part does true damage and the rest is physical. So the side stuff really doesn't do much damage. We'll speed through, though. I think you get the main early mistake. Now you just kind of got to let him play into you until you get a jungle gank. You just can't trade with him at all now. Any short trades, he'll just heal off with the vampiric. That was a nice kite back, though. I like to see that kite back whenever you know the trade's going to turn south or the trade's over. Berserker Greaves is pretty standard on Garen.
Yeah.
If their jungler's 80 and their top laner's 80 and their auto base, you can still go for plated still caps. Like,
Okay.
but this game, since you were ahead 1 kill, if you didn't throw it, then this still would have been a good purchase. Because it's really good when you're playing from ahead, not so much from behind.
Okay. Well, and that's another big thing that I could afford to learn is how to build how to buck traditional build and how to build from behind.
Right. Yeah, so basically tanky items like plated steel cap and bramble are really, really overpowered in the early mid game. To where if you're getting double value, like if their jungler and top are both AD auto based, either going plated steel cap, bramble, or both makes you absurdly strong. Like if you've ever seen a Fiora dump on a Malphite top lane and then right when he gets a bramble she can't play the game. It's pretty much what happens.
Okay.
But I guess we'll skip into the late game now. There's really nothing to look at here.
Yeah, so it was really just that one teleport.
Yes.
Yeah.
What top lane in these solo lanes, if your jungler doesn't gank for you, once they have a fairly large advantage, it's really hard for you to come back unless they turret dive you or something. Or if you just play safe and outfarm them somehow. But, oh, nice. So you don't actually have TP. If you're not playing a TP champion or a split push champ, Garen's not really much of a split pusher. His escapes aren't as good as something like a Jax who can jump over a wall. So you're mainly just going to be grouping with your team or cashing stray waves. But, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the 1v1. I don't think there's much to see here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at that point where I can pretty much identify my mistakes. At least know what I'm doing wrong. But, you know, in the heat of the moment, you know, I get greedy. I don't like, oh, I can't sacrifice the CS, but I understand how even going back and missing, you know, 3 to 4 CS can still be beneficial because it just pushes the whole party up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go ahead and run this 1v1. You go Garen, I'll go Garen, and I'll tell you what to do at the start, and then you'll see how easy it is when you play the beginning, right? Because that's the main thing we gotta focus on. Especially if we're gonna be running Ignite, we're not taking teleport, so we're going full carry mode here.
Yeah.
All right.
Does Garen's ultimate factor into the coup de grace?
Oh,
like,
yes.
Does it do more damage to them?
It should.
If they're lower on health?
Yes, but normally if you're going to play a scrappy matchup top lane, that's the whole point of Conquer is it's scrappy. You're playing against a melee champion, you're getting lots of damage in. You normally go Last Stand. Last Stand's 5 to 11% damage instead of just 8%. So that's 3% more because in these top lane matchups, when you're fighting Set or Jax, it's normally to the death.
Yeah.
So you normally Garen actually in scrappy melee matchups, he goes Last Stand. That was the main discrepancy I saw in your runes. Also against scrappy melee matchups, you go Bone Plating. You only want second wind generally against poke matchups, something like a Teemo or a Gangplank.
Okay.
Yeah, second wind doesn't help you much in these scrappy melees.
I usually will run conditioning and unflinching.
Unflinching is not bad, but like conditioning is greedy. You don't normally go it because Garen, you need to start getting kills level 1 through 6, and conditioning doesn't do anything until the 12-minute mark. You should be hitting level 6 as a top lane around the 7-minute mark. So you have like conditioning's fine if you feel really comfortable in the lane matchup. Generally though, it's just bone plating overgrowth or second wind overgrowth. Okay. If they have because your W gives you CC anyway, so if they're like hitting you with a stun or something, you just flick on W right as it's landing.
I feel like there's so much damn CC in this game anymore lately that I just figure
there's a lot of
all
CC.
the tenacity that I can get, you know, helps.
Do keep in mind that with suppressions and displacements, do you know what displacements are?
Like a knock-up, knockback?
Yes, knock-up, knockbacks, things like that. So with suppressions and displacements, tenacity doesn't do anything. So if it's a Warwick R, an Alistar, a Blitzcrank, that tenacity isn't helping you much. So Malzahar R.
Are we meeting top or bot?
Yeah, we're meeting top. I'm gonna come to lane later, do what I said, get down 3 autos on the first one and 1 auto on the second, and then you're gonna chill. If I start hitting the minions back, you can match my autos, and then when you should essentially get your first last hit before mine, since my minions will be lower, and then when I go in for my last hit, you're gonna punish me with an auto Q.
Okay.
The jungler's not going to touch you until roughly 2-minute 45 at the earliest. Full clearers won't touch you until like 3-minute 30 at the earliest. So you generally want to get your ward down around 240 and you'll be fine.
You typically ping ward, well, I guess you can't see my pings. Ward this top river bush or the tri bush?
You don't lay it this early, but you'd only do that if it was like a red buff Twitch jungle start. There's very few junglers who gank that early. You would just gank where their jungler's most likely to come from. So for me, I would probably ward your tri-bush, and you would ward my long bush. But no, go to the minions. Go hit the minions. Yeah, you're not warding yet. You're gonna get 3 autos down, and then I'm gonna start hitting. No, finish that minion, dude. And then you're gonna punish me for last hitting that one.
Oh, all right. Well, that was bad.
Yeah. Okay. So now, for example, you want to come to this minion, but why aren't you going for it? Exactly.
Well, you were right there.
Why aren't you going for this one? You fight me, dude. You're in your minions. If you have the 3 caster creeps, you're at the advantage.
Okay.
So when I go for this minion, you need to hit me. Because if you have nothing to last hit and I do, you should be punishing that. So.
Yeah, well, I clicked on you, but I went for the minion instead.
We'll try this one more time, but. So basically, you're never gonna play the Garen matchup, obviously, unless you're playing normals. But yeah, it's really just about getting your wave starting to go. And when I say get your 3 autos down, since you autoed late, the one you auto 3 times was gonna die. Like, don't give up a minion just to attack a different minion type of situation. But your wave is pushing to me. You are missing a lot of CS though.
Yeah.
Whenever you're going to last hit, it's generally best to use your autos on Garen. If you're using your E, it's easy to miss at early levels on your E because it does such little damage. Your minions can actually last hit you. So now that your Q's on cooldown, if you step up, your opponent should push up while it's down and they can take a really heavy trade with you. And then you basically have to flash here. So I'm going to follow you.
Yep.
And then that's top lane. Well, once there's a given advantage and you know you're going to win the fight to the death, you just follow it in. If they don't respect it or if they react late, they die. Let's try that one more time. Just get to the waves as soon as they meet and get your 3 autos down on the first one. And if the minions still have enough HP, start autoing a different one. So the idea is you should be getting in your first last hit before mine. That way you can trade with me on when I go for my last hit.
Okay.
Yeah, but don't worry about warding until 2-minute 45. It's too early to be warding. So go ahead and leave the game.
Okay. Yeah, that's another habit that I didn't know. I always typically ward around 130.
Yeah, way too early. There's no need. All right, let's do it. So basically, right as the minions meet, you should be there, ready to auto. And remember, you hit level 2 off of.
7. Yeah.
Oh, you don't need to share screen. I was wondering why I was hearing doubles there. That was weird.
Where? How do I cancel
that? And you have bone plating, right?
I went second wind.
Oh, yeah. Don't go second wind. You only do that against range matchups. You're gonna lose by default. If I'm running bone plating and you run second wind, if we stand here and fight to the death with no minions, you're gonna lose. I'm gonna go D-blade start. You only really need to go D-shield if it's, once again, like a poke matchup or something with consistent range attack like GP.
Is Gangplank pretty common in higher elo?
Not really, because he's very finicky to play, and he's very slow. So Gangplank's still kind of, at least on NA, he's not very common in higher elo. Champions like him are popular among pro play because they're like consistent and they can stay alive, but in solo queue, consistency and staying alive isn't always enough. A lot of times it also has to have a certain amount of carry potential or a certain amount of 1 versus 3 potential type of stuff. Like Garen can kind of do that with his spin and his tankiness. I think most people would say that Garen's far better than Gangplank into Diamond. After Diamond, then Gangplank's probably better since people start to play smarter and Garen's not going to really be able to cheese off 1 versus 1s.
Alright, so I'm 3 hitting 1 minion, then 1 hitting 1
yes, you're creating stair steps, so they're going to die at different times, but make sure you're not just giving up CS just to hit a different minion. That's not the point.
Yeah, so I still want to concentrate last hitting.
Yes, and then once you get your last hit and you have nothing to last hit and I go in for mine, you're going to punish me. So I'm coming to lane. I was watching YouTube. I was talking to my mom on Facebook. I'm going to step up. I'm going to go in for a last hit, or I'm going to hit a minion. You should have hit me there. Yeah, just like that. Exactly. I'm gonna I'm last hitting. What are you gonna do about it? Oh no, you should keep trading it when you have an HP advantage. Even though I have the 2 minions there, punish it.
Okay.
I think we're ready to go in the game. I'll tell you to stay on
What takes priority? Hitting you or last hitting the minion?
Melee creeps and cannons are very important. If you can take like a 4 auto trade advantage on me, that's worth giving up a range creep. Especially if your wave's already pushing in your favor, because you're just trying to get damage on me. But yeah, generally don't give up CS to trade unless it's going to be a really, really good trade for you. Ranged creeps and don't give as much as melees and cannons, obviously.
You know, in this scenario, if they let the wave freeze, you know, in this general area...
I can't freeze it here. It's too close to my turret. If the melees can creep forward into turret, this is unfreezable. I won't be able to freeze it from here, honestly. So you just use your abilities. What do you think I'm going to do now?
Well, yeah, you'll be on.
Well, yeah, that's like you gotta have to back up a little bit. You can't stay in my attack range. So generally you don't want to use your abilities just for like no reason. We want to use them for like a specific reason. I have bad news for you, my friend.
Oh wait, I thought you already used your flash.
All right, let's go hop into a live game. Yeah, so if you're gonna do like the Q flash play, you act like you're not interested. You just play hard to get, and then they'll think, oh, he can't kill me because he's not acting like he can. They'll step up within your flash range. You just Q flash and they can't react. All right, so now go ahead and screen share. Let's hop into rank.
Okay.
Something you also need to think about is like when I stepped up for that initial minion, if you're close enough to auto me or threaten the Q. You know how auto attacks have cooldowns, like in between each auto based on your attack speed?
Yeah.
You can punish that. So if your auto's up, mine's down, you can take the trade and win it.
Okay.
So if you have the auto advantage, you might as well force that.
Well, that's like one of the micro things that I can't even focus on yet.
That's why standing close to things and understanding pressure ranges is important. So it's like, if you can pressure me and I don't have a way to pressure you back in the moment because I'm going for a CS, you want to be standing as close as safely possible so you can punish that back. It's kind of like, it's honestly a lot like boxing.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a negotiation. If someone throws out a huge hit and you just jump back and you're never within strike range, you're never going to get them back. So it's kind of where we need to be at. Watch stream. Okay. Cool. So you normally queue top mid. You can even run Garen mid lane in this meta, honestly. There's with like the Talons and Zeds and stuff. If they're not good and they try to fight you level 1, level 2, they just lose. Especially if you're running bone plating. Don't only take second win in poke matchups.
You're pretty muffled. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm muffled?
There we go. Now you're open.
Yeah, so you'd want to start taking bone plate in these matchups.
Okay. Does bone plating proc off of 3 spins of well, I mean, I'll never face a Garen versus Garen in ranked, but
Yeah, bone plating procs off of any damage from an enemy champion.
oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah. Looks like there's a noob hunter coming after you, my guy.
A new what?
I said a noob hunter.
Oh. Yeah, it's kind of a sad state of affairs. Been playing this game for almost 2 years. Still a noob. Still can't even like consistently get. Well, I when I first started playing, it was nothing but D's and C's, and I can pretty consistently at least get a B now. Good games.
Yeah.
A's. But yeah, something else I also know I really suck at is even when I get a lead, at some point in the game, my CS just really drops off. Like I struggle to get 6 creeps per minute by end of game.
Ooh. That's
yeah,
tough.
and I know that if that was better, I could be a lot more dominant.
Well, the main thing is in the early game. So I assume late game there might be some big waves crashing, and we may just not see those on the mini map. Because like in the late game, generally, if one side has slightly more minions, or the span of the next minute or so, it's going to form this tsunami that's going to crash in your turret and take like half of your turret's health.
Yeah.
So if you're not grabbing those late,
his E, once you get the berserkers and stride breaker, his E clears a wave in one use.
Right.
So even with that, it's like I don't get, if I notice my CS is low mid-game, it's like, I'll catch back up with my E, but I just never seem to be able to do that.
Yeah. Late game, it's not a huge deal, because when your E's max, like you said, it kills the whole wave. It's just early game. If we have minions with us, we need to be careful using our E to kill all the low HP minions, because we can lose a lot of them. Because your E doesn't do that much damage, and it has inconsistencies in how it puts it out compared to a precise auto.
Okay.
How long are your Qs normally, man? This is lower elo.
Oh, I mean, yesterday they were 4 to 6 minutes on a Sunday.
Damn, dude, you're in Smurf Q, bro.
Oh, terrific. Awesome.
No, I'm joking. I assume it's just because there's not many people in this elo, and it's trying to find you a balanced match.
Well, in Iron 1, I typically end up matching in the bronze tier. I have not played in any Iron players for a long time.
There's not. It's tough because a lot of Iron players are intentionally bronze, and they'll sell the accounts or they give them to streamers. So a lot of them are intentionally Iron. But there are some who are real irons, so it can be hard for the system to find good matches. Yeah. Hey, we all gotta start somewhere, though.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta start somewhere.
Well, and it's fun. There was my first ranked I played on Saturday. It was a lobby of all irons, and I pub stomped. I think I went 18-1, and I checked OP after that. I'm like, oh, that's why I did so well. And then all my other matches have been, bronze 3, bronze 2, and it's pretty incredible. Even just the skill jump from an Iron 1 to a bronze 2.
Yes.
It's like it's a different beast entirely, and you're still in like the bottom 99th percentile
no
guild players in this game.
No, it's actually insane with the way the numbers work out. The majority of people don't even really play ranked or don't even play 10 ranked games. So it's weird how Iron is actually better than a lot of people, because a lot of people don't even play ranked and they like only play ARAMs and stuff. So you'd be surprised. Like Iron and Bronze, I think is generally like the bottom 30%. But it's hard to tell because you don't really know how many other players are like that who are just out doing ARAMs and shit.
It's like, I'm reading, the subreddit Summoner School and Garen Main, and like they're all describing these scenarios in like Iron and Bronze of just being able to like waltz over people, and I'm like, are you guys playing the same Iron and Bronze players that I'm experiencing? Because the education I run up to against an enemy top laner can be pretty not what you're describing.
Yeah, people can get pretty one-sided as they improve or hit higher elo. There's a general misconception higher elo players will say things like, oh, silver through plat's the same thing, or the skill difference between a diamond player and a challenger is bigger than the skill difference between an iron and a plat, which is just false. They say all sorts of wild stuff. They forget just how vicious the skill ceiling can be.
Now lately, Garen's been getting some bans. Oh, okay.
That's fine. We can run set if he gets banned.
Or picked before me.
That's funny that he's getting banned because he's not banned at all. Like outside of this elo, he just doesn't get banned. I think Nasus should actually get more bans in this elo. It's weird. Every time I see a lower elo Nasus player, they always run fleet footwork.
Yeah, that's what u.gg says.
It's not good. You only really do it against like really hard poke matchups. Kind of like how.
Grasp?
No, you generally wouldn't go grasp. Nasus's biggest power spike in the game is his level 6 and his Divine Sunderer. Once he's level 6, he can solo any melee champion in the game, hands down. His R is like 2 Sunfire capes, and then his Q's on a half cooldown. And the Conqueror really adds into that. So generally the best Nasus players on NA or any other region, they go Conqueror or Unsealed Spellbook to play around the level 6 power spike and up. But like when you run Fleet, it's just super one-dimensional and only helps you really with your first 5 levels because Nasus gets a bunch of lifesteal anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just
Well, but running Conqueror, like, you got to get 12 autos in at that point.
Oh,
it takes along with him.
It's basically only for level 6 and up, or unless you get a gank pre-6. But that's Nasus, so he really shouldn't be winning any matchup pre-6. But once he's 6, the enemy steps out of line and they die.
Got it.
Yeah, he just does not lose to any melee champ in the game at that point. The Teemo ban? Do you have trouble with Teemo?
Sometimes, yeah. But it's also like, normally I ban Camille because I have no fucking clue what to do against her, but she rarely gets picked in this elo, and Teemo gets picked a lot more than her. So.
Yeah, we really shouldn't struggle against these elo of Irelia players. We should dump on them pretty hard. Like, as long as we press W right as her stun's landing, she's going to auto-lose the fights.
Well, Camille, not Irelia.
Oh, okay, Camille. Yeah, the Teemo matchup can be hard. It's mainly just taking second win, D-shield, and knowing which minions you have to give up. Because at some point, if especially at this elo, since they don't position really well against a really good high elo Teemo player, it's tough with the way they lay their mushrooms in position. But this elo, they're going to overstep at some point, and we'll catch them out with Stride Breaker and kill them. But that's fine. It's not an easy matchup. Generally, we should try to look for the melee matchups on Garen.
Yeah, it's as far as banning. Am I gonna have Kale, or is top just not picked yet?
I don't know. I guess it's the Kale. The Kale ban out the Mundo. That's fine. Like, she's gonna be tough, but as long as we don't die to her.
Gotta get up on her before 6.
Yeah, let's just get on top of the minions early. Wait for our Q to be up, and then when she goes in for a minion, we'll punish. Yeah, go second win. All right, looks good. You're already taking tenacity in your precision tree. That's why Garen doesn't generally go unflinching.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he has his W tenacity, his Rune tenacity. So you only really go Merc Treads if they're super, super AP heavy, which they kind of are this game. If Ashe is really far behind, we could go those if we want, but I assume we're just going to rush the Berserkers to get on top of the Kel. That's fine. You might honestly just not rush Berserkers this game and go straight for Stride Breaker rush. Unless she's positioning really shitty, then we can get to her with Berserkers. But otherwise, if she's positioning okay, we will have to have Stride Breaker to get to her. Like, Berserkers won't be enough. Because she's going to toss out her slow or whatnot. So basically, whenever she toss out her slow and it hits us, if we still have our Q, we can just wait a second and then just like all in her. Or if she's close enough, we can just Q cleanse the slow and then destroy her.
Okay.
A Rumble jungler is generally more of a full clear style jungler. We'll both look on the mini map, kind of like as we're getting to lane and hitting the minions. And I guess you don't even have to as a top laner. You can just see when your top laner gets to lane and you already know where their jungler starts, since every jungler in this meta gets a leash. So if Kale comes to lane like on time and it hasn't burnt any mana, you already know he started bot side, the rumble.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
As a jungler, you have to check both lanes, just looking on the minimap to see who gets there first. Alright, go to top lane. Go straight there. I would hide in the middle bush up high. I wouldn't worry about your jungler getting invaded. And generally, your junglers don't start on their top side, and they generally shouldn't. They should start with their bot lane for the best leash in this elo, because they don't know how to farm. What the heck is this? Is there music going on here?
Oh, this is the Massey of Ice intro music. It's fantastic.
I've been wondering. I was like, I don't know if you have music on in the background. I guess it's just Garen jamming out.
Yeah, no, it cuts out after a bit. Best Garen skin in the game.
Very fashionable.
Yeah, that's something else I know that, you know, an old meta used to be Bushwhacker Garen, and using these bushes to that. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
I guess he should just tell him to start red. Yeah, he's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, that's bad. There's no reason for him to start on his blue buff view as a red buff jungler anyways.
Looks like Samir is going for the invade.
Yeah, the solo invade. The late solo invade. Watch out. So yeah, just get your first 3 autos down, and then watch it go. If they're gonna hit the minions, then you can just keep hitting the minions too, but ideally we should be punishing it when they go in for their last hit. I just keep autoing it all the way, honestly. Alright, let's not use our Q next time. Just kill that minion and then stop autoing, because you already have a huge minion advantage. After you kill this melee minion, you need to step up and fight her with your Q, or get that range creep. I would just trade with her. She's going to want those minions. Stay with her and auto her next time. You're way bigger than her early. So now we already have the minion advantage. Only last hit and trade with her. Every time she goes in for last hit, we're going to Q her. So your Q's up. So you need to step up a little bit farther. You're standing too far back. Now go trade with her. E. All the way. Don't take a turret shot. Nice trade. Last hit them all. Focus the minions, which your minions are focusing. So your range minions, if they're hitting theirs, then you need to kill their range creeps first.
Okay.
I would go get a ward down. This is a good time. Go ward the enemy tri bush right there. The tri bush, yes. Once you crash the wave and they're just gonna be on there for a while, it's fine. Let's not use our Q though. It's a pretty long cooldown right now.
Yeah, that's true.
We need to stand a little bit closer. But we only want to be last hitting right now. So let's try to just last hit. Her wave's going to be pushing to us slowly, because her wave reinforcing first. So just let her push out a bit. Only last hit. Or you can take a trade with her if you can find it. Like as she steps up for those minions, you already know she's going to like go to it. So you can fight her here, honestly, even though she has minion advantage.
Well, wouldn't she just...
No, you could kill Destroyer. But not if you use your Q. Don't push the wave. Don't push the wave. You have her right where you want her. Her wave's pushing to you. Only last hit. Make sure you're not missing the minions. You need to be standing closer to their backline. If she steps up and your Q's up, you can punish her, because she's not under her turret now. So just keep standing there. When she hits you, then you hit her with your Q. Like, you want her to auto you, because then you hit her with Q. Stop hitting the minions unless you're going to last hit. You can just back off. You'll be fine. Turn. Next time, let's hit him with the silence first. You're gonna need a flash and use potion. Honestly, Viego still might get it. Nah, never mind. Her wave's pushing to us. We could honestly just recall here. We don't have to shove. Or we can wait for our passive to heal us up, but we really need to, like, whenever she goes in for the last hit, when we have the HP advantage, we need to punish her with our Q.
Just can't get to her fast enough.
That's fine. You're not going to get her every time. It's just when she's a little bit more out of position. You're healing back up because she's not punishing you? Make sure you're standing close to your last hits. Nice. Trade all the way in. Use your W. Yeah, let's use our W when all the minions are focusing. But, yeah, at this point, let's try to dump wave. We might need to just dump reset.
Okay.
Basically, every time our Q's up against a weak early game champion, we should be trading off. We should try to shove this wave though. Like just dump it. You can trade in on her with your Q and then E. It's fine. No, just dump the wave. It's fine. If you have to, like just wait like a half a second to get the last hit. It's not a big deal. Let's just reset. Reset. Unless you think you can kill her. Unless you think she's gonna step back up, in which case I'd wait in the front of the bush. The front of the bush.
He's probably gonna think that I've recalled in the bush and she'll come up.
Wait in the front of the bush.
This.
Yes. Right, yes. Yes. Just wait there, and then I would rush out with Q and all in her.
Let her push up a little bit more. Like right now. God damn it.
Dump the wave. Just dump it. Make sure you get that. Oof, unfortunate. Do you ever use the S key?
No.
So that stops you. That stops your champion from doing anything. You can just stand there and watch the minion like you're playing the stacker game. Because right now, I feel like we're autoing every time our auto's up, so we're missing a lot of minions. If you auto every time your auto's up, you're going to miss at least half. So you can either walk back and forth on the minion just like that, or you can press S and stand right on top of it. Either's fine. I would reset though, man. You need to spend your gold. You can go tier 2 boots rush here, that's fine. Or you can go for the building in a stride breaker. Either one's perfectly fine here.
Well, she's ranged, so.
Also, if we're going to use our Q into E, ideally let's land the Q first, because your Q is generally going to end at the end of your E. So like when we were fighting the Rumble there, we never actually hit him with our silence. It was we like Q'd and then we eat early, basically.
Well, I Q'd for the dash to escape him.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I was trying not to fight him, but yeah. Otherwise, I would have used it on him. But I guess it would have been fine to Q him while still running away, because he would be silenced and unable to do anything.
Look at her items, press tab. Make sure you use your W here when she turns on you. Ideally, we should be using W in all these trades though, to just like, no, but like, it's a big shield and damage reduction. We want to use it when we're actually like fighting her. She's pushing a huge wave. We can just catch it. Just sit back, let your passive do work. Don't let her hit you or you're going to lose your passive healing. Next time our flat... Ooh, yeah, make sure you're getting these, though. Like, it's okay if she hits you a little bit, but we don't want to be giving up the minions. I guess it's fine to use your W there, honestly.
Well, I'll have my flash, and, God.
You're just going to have to Q away. She's got you in a really tough spot now since we never quite pinched. We'll have to either wait for a gank or wait for flash. We just have to keep our HP up.
Yeah.
This is kind of like the Teemo matchup. This takes tough spacing.
She's squishy enough I can all in her, but her flash is probably up too. Yeah.
She can't flash when she's silenced. She's going to have bad reaction times. I would go for it here on the next minion. She goes to last hit, so it's probably your cannon minion. Yeah, I'd just fight it right now. Fight it, fight it, fight it. Her ability's down. She just went in for the last hit. We let her take it for free. Stay on top. She's gonna R. Just freeze the wave now. You can't kill her. So you want to push it? You don't want to freeze it? I mean, we can push it, that's fine. Just dump it all the way. You have to dump it now. You set it in a spot to where your wave's pushing. One of the advantages of freezing it on a range champ is then you get to dictate how far in the lane you get to chase them. So if we have it near our side and we freeze, then it gives us like more space to chase.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, man, so often you run into a bad Kale, but of course.
Another
this
thing,
one's actually like at least
W.
decent.
Yeah, use your W. Let's use our W as soon as possible when they're going in on us to soak as much damage as possible.
Get out. Okay.
Yeah, just Q out and reset. Yeah, so she has a range slow. Whenever she hits you with that, you can just Q at her, and your Q will completely cleanse it, and we can trade with her. Because she's honestly not positioning well. She's just like abusing us with range, and we're eating the hits.
Killing spree. Double kill.
On that one play when we flashed on top of her, generally that is the move, but since she wasn't actually moving, next time let's just like run all the way up and just hit her with QE.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fine. That was fine. I would freeze it though. I would stop hitting the minions and just like hold the wave there. Don't let them crash. Don't let them crash. You ran too far back.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. It's okay to take a little bit of minion damage at this point, especially when your passive's up. The minions don't drop your passive. You can trade with her. I would just walk at her, make her auto you, and then just Q immediately. Stay on top all the way, all the way. Follow it in. All right, now you can back off now. Nice W, that was good. You blocked some damage. Her Q's on cooldown. You can trade this. Her Q's on cooldown.
I'm too slow.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Damn it.
Because if she didn't react, we had it. It's not a big deal. And we're gonna keep doing that. Like start to posture up as your Q's up, and you can do that again. Even if she hits you with her Q, just immediately Q on her.
Okay.
Don't be afraid of her. You're stronger than she is. Stay on top. Nice.
She slowed me.
No, it's fine. You're winning these trades. She's out of mana, and you have more HP regen. It's not a big deal. Remember, let's hold our auto until the minions are really low. You can do the same thing. Just stand up whenever like your minions are getting low. You need to make sure you're there. That's good. That was nice shoot. Now push her off minions. Don't let her last hit.
An enemy has been slain.
It's fine. She's running out of mana. Even though that trade was kind of rough, she's blowing through it right now. I would try to hold these minions here. Just hold them.
Okay.
Like next time, well, you're going to have to last hit that one. But melee minions are a bit tankier. Even if it's half health, you could have temporarily stalled your wave out to have more space to chase. I would start to try to push her off. If she doesn't respect it, just Q her. Like there, she should probably die for that. Make sure you Arning die it. Yeah, it's easy.
Nice.
See? Sometimes it just takes multiple trades, posturing. You have higher health regen. If they don't go Bork, or if they don't rush Vampiric, you're going to slowly out-sustain their trades. But every time our Q's up, especially when they're last hitting, we need to punish it. Just dump the wave. Dump it, dump it, dump it. You have more minions. E. Push, push, push. Make sure you're last hitting, too. Oh, the pain. Alright, let's get some plates.
God, how is that already back up?
Probably could have
It's
stayed
three
for
times
that
she's
first one.
Fucking used it.
That's fine.
I got the gold.
I'd reset.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and buy.
You don't have to go all the way back, just back. She can't threat. Just recall. You're going too far back. Recall. Where are you going?
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Where I thought. Yeah. Where are you
Yeah,
going?
what? I couldn't be mid river open to a gank. Oh, I guess Rumble's down there.
All right, get your stride breaker, and now you win the game. Game's over. You just won. Q back to lane. Yeah, she has tier 1 boots. She's technically faster than you, but your stride breaker is basically like a Kha'Zix jump in terms of range, at least to the slow part on it. So every time your Q's up, you're basically going to be trading with her. Especially if she throws her slow at you, you're going to Q immediately and knock her head in because you can cleanse the slow. So just start last hitting, but wait till the turret shot hits. Yeah, now it hit. Easy money, dude. Caster creeps are always 1 turret shot, then 1 to 2 autos. The melee creeps are 2 turret shots, 1 auto.
Okay.
Alright, you can fight her when she goes in for the last hit. Nice posturing. That's good. That's really, really good. Now you can back off. It's very good to push them off the minions without using any abilities, because then when they actually do go to hit you, then you use your abilities. You can stride breaker. You need to put your stride breaker on a button you can press with your finger, not like pushing it with your mouse. You need to have a a mouse button or something toggle to it?
It's my scroll wheel.
That's fine, then use your scroll wheel. But you need a fighter here.
Well,
Don't let her last hit for free, dude. You're the muscle around here. You decide who gets the last hit. Don't die for this. She's got her R.
I was trying to R.
It's fine. You have plenty of HP. You can just Q flash R her here, dude. She's dead. She can't stay. Kill her. Kill her. Q flash R. Q flash R. Q flash R. Okay, just... Okay, never mind. Alright, push the wave and then kill her.
I swear to God, I never misclicked this much.
Okay. Yeah, she's dead. She has no R, dude. If we just Q stride breaker, ER, she's dead. It's okay if we take some turret shots. Just fight it. Dive it. It doesn't matter. Just... Yeah, this game's over. You win. Now take the turret. You win the game. Push the wave. You can full E it. Your E's max. You should get... You got... Both 2 out of 3 of the melee. It's not bad. Since you don't have minions attacking here, it's fine to just auto like this. Because you had like no minions with you, so your minions aren't out last hitting you. But if you have a bunch of minions, you have to sometimes hold your auto if you can tell it's going to be close. You just hold and wait. Either walk back and forth or press the S key. Either is fine. If she steps up, just knock her head in. You can wait in bush or you can shove wave. Either's fine here.
Take the gold. What the fuck, man?
Nice. Cutting it close there, but it's better to get it than not to. Early game, if they're in lane, we don't want to do that because we just wasted our Q and it's on cooldown. But here it's perfectly fine because she's not here. Okay, kill her, kill her, kill her. Stride break E, stride break your E. Stay on top. Use your W if she turns. Only if she turns to fight. Q, 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 Q. Stay on her, stay on her. Oh, you have her, my guy. You had her. Turn on Rumble. You had her, big boy. It's okay to take a turret
she was
shot.
on her tower.
Yeah, it's fine. You can take 2 or 3 shots. It's not a big deal. You're pretty tanky. Early game, yeah, it looks like she died to your minions. Early game, it's a really big deal because you have low health, low armor. But per level, you get more armor and HP. Plus, you have an HP item. So you probably could have taken 4 or 5 shots there and not even died.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't be afraid of it. Your stride breaker, when you're doing physical damage, you move really, really fast. So like if you're hitting her at all with anything on Garen, you're way faster than her. So just stay on top. Let's get the kill.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. How's the rest of the team doing? Oh. Nice Samira.
So at this point, since she's just not very good, we should just stay top unless you see an easy roam. Look on the mini map. Just left click. Yeah. We don't really want to go to this. But yeah, let's keep looking though. Don't look at yourself. You don't need to see what's going on there. The reason why we're looking here is there might be like a dragon play you could show up to and kill them all, but there's not. Looks like you're just gonna lose bot turret. That's fine. We can even start diving her. Let's just like Q stride breaker E. If she R's, we'll back off and wait for our Q to be back up. But let's all in her here. Kill her. Q stride break. Okay, that's good. That's good. You got her flash. That's a huge advantage. You can back off and wait for your Q to be up here. That's fine. Next, hold that minion. Hold it. Wait. Last hit it properly. Okay. Don't use Q though. I wanted to hold the wave so she's not under turret. I'll take the trade. Rumble's not here. Take it. Q stride breaker. Let's Q first next time because she's wrecking us with spells. It's okay. Alright, let's pull off a bit. Let's heal up. Let's also break vision. The more you show yourself, the more the jungler's likely to come. So as long as they don't directly see you, it's fine. We don't have to run away, though.
Yeah. See if she'll come up.
But let's Q then Stride Breaker, though. Could use a mouse button, though. Don't press it directly. Q then stride it. Yeah, kick her ass. She's dead. See how easy that is?
Yeah,
She's a fucking goner. Just Q Stride Breaker. You're a god, dude. That's like Silver 1 G4 Garen material right there. Yeah, you just outrun him. He can't chase you. Your Q will cleanse his slow.
Q's down.
Yeah, that's fine. That was good of you to E though when he was on you, because your Stride Breaker's speeding you up, and yeah, that's good. It's fine. You got everything out of the Rumble. Press tab. What are his items looking like? so he's kind of big. If we save our W, we could probably kill him in the all-in, but running away was probably the right move. As long as we're not fighting Rumble on his R, he is relatively weak, so if we can just be at least half health, we might win that.
Okay.
Are we building Deadmans right now? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah. That's usually what
If they're not an 80 champion, let's just go StXX in the future.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
StXX is a really good neutral item since it's HP and 80. It works against everything, but Deadman's, since they're jungler's AP and their top's AP, it's not the best.
I like it for the sticking power.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I
still
see your
good.
point.
We would still definitely buy it since they have at least one 80 champion, but we just don't want a second item if they're both AP because the armor on is useless.
Yeah.
Well, not completely useless. It still helps against turrets, but I would just fight her to the death here. I'll just run her down. Q stride breaker, stay on top, move behind her. Yep, that's what it looks like. Now shove the wave out and take turret. Use all of your abilities. Yep. This is why ranged matchups don't beat Garen unless you're dying to them early. If you're dying to them early, it's hard for you to come back. But as long as you don't, you just win the game. Because they don't know how to kite perfectly. You have to be able to kite really, really well to beat melee champions who aren't behind. Like once they're 6. You just keep going. You see there's 2 of them on the mini map. You know, Kale's dead. I'd kill her, kill her, kill her. Q stride breaker, Q stride breaker, kill her. Beat her ass, dude. Oh, let's Q first next time. Let's pull out and go back in once our Q's back up. Let's Q her first, though, for the silence, and then she's guaranteed dead. Wait in the bush and then Q her.
Okay.
Do it. Do it! Okay, never mind. Pull out. Pull out. Stride breaker away. And just Q away. Let's get out. Yeah, but let's make sure we are landing the Q first, and that's a guaranteed kill because she can't heal or R or whatever. We can just heal back up. We can take our Gromp. You can take your jungler's Gromp here. That's fine. It'll heal you, and your high. It doesn't stop your passive.
It looks like he's.
Oh, that's fine. Your passive's healing you
I'm
up.
gonna back to complete Deadmans.
Wait. Wait to see if Kel's here. You don't have to show yourself. Let's just wait to see if someone stayed. Okay, you can back. It's fine. Okay, wait. Oh, I'd kill her, honestly.
Ash.
I would-
Must have vision.
Yeah, I'd get the wave. I'd get the wave and get your ward down. Cat is getting kills. Let's push this up. Next person we see, we just kill and we just Q stride break and they're dead. Unless there's like 3 people. If there's only 1 though, we're gonna take this. Keep going, keep going, keep going. We don't want to turn back. When Catacombs, we're gonna kill her. Press tab. Let's look at. Okay, ooh, Cal's here. Kill Ashe right now. Kill her. Do it. No.
God.
Stride breaker EW. Stay on top. Then R. You're gonna have to run to your right, my friend. You have to run right. Oh, it's too late. I was giving you insider information there, my dude. I was giving you the good stuff.
Run to the. I should have ran up along the wall up here.
No, to your right. So you're gonna be running towards their base. Their cat and Kel was behind you. It's okay, dude. You didn't take insider information. You're not gonna go to jail now. You're in the clear. Yeah.
So at what point would you say team up and team fight at all?
You're not going to unless they're like taking inhibs.
Okay.
Your team's not very good. Your team's really far behind. If you can guaranteed kill Ashe and bring 2 other people up, that's a really good trade. Yeah, but we need to land that Q. It's very important.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't struggle as much to land it. I guess it's the pressure and anxiety of having someone watch.
Just remember, if you have a bunch of levels up on someone, by default you're gonna beat them in a fight. If you're like 3 or 4 levels up on someone, that's insane in League. Absurd.
Okay.
Even if you're under a turret, you're gonna kill him. If I'm a level 14 Evelyn and it's a level 10 Ashe under a turret, she's gonna get eaten alive. It's the same way with the Garen. I'll just keep dumping it. And whenever you push their camps, if they're pushing you off, or I mean, whenever you're like pushing the wave, you can take their camps if you have nothing else to do, like a Tryndamere would do.
Okay.
Or you can just kill her. Either's fine. I'll just Q stride breaker. Stay on top. If she R's, pull out. Oh, stay on top. Stay on top. R her. R. Now pull out. Easy game, dude. You see you took like 8 turret shots. It doesn't matter. Push. They're all mid. Look on the mini map. Back and kill the Ashe, honestly. I'll get in the bush. Go anywhere. Out of sight. Back. Once you're out of vision, it doesn't matter where. You see how the Ashe is the first this one up?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna kill her. Ooh, she's pulling off. We should have canceled our back. That's fine. Let's go kill Cat. We have over a third of our team's kills. Just Q stride break eater. Don't forget to W and ignite and stuff. You're gonna probably have to. You can Q.
Ah, shit.
Oh, E. Yay! Let's go, baby. Still worth. You got the shutdown, and she's like 1v9 right now. Yeah, nothing melee can fight Garen if Garen's ahead. Really, like you're so big, especially if it's not a bruiser. If they don't have Sterix and those crazy bruiser items, they just can't win. If it's a Kata, an Echo,
shut her down. She still has 700 gold bounty.
An assassin like Rengar, Evelyn, they have no chance. I'll just get your Sterix, and we'll probably get like Force of Nature or something like that. They're really AP heavy.
Wit's End?
Like you can apply the on hit, but I wouldn't, honestly. I would go Force of Nature.
Okay.
I would go push that wave, look for a kill.
Bot or bot?
Either's fine. Ashe was last seen bot, so I'd want to kill her. Just push the wave out. Yep. E. Nice. Yeah, that top wave. Look at that. If you see a wave that's more than one wave, let's go take it. But look on the mini map. You don't need to look at yourself. You're not a pretty girl. Yeah, so this is a lot of it died, but we didn't really know beforehand. It's fine. Just shove top. If you see something crazy on the mini map, let's take a peek. Oh, take a peek. Just because we take a peek doesn't mean we have to move. I would go to it though. Oh my Jesus. This is gonna be tough. You used your W at a pretty good time. Cat is scared. I would have warded the bush and kept chasing. It's too late now. Save your silence for Kata.
Don't have it. It's down.
That's tough. Yeah, we can't fight when there's more of them. Like, if it's just the Kel and the Kata, this Kel's really bad. We actually win that, but once Rumble shows up, we have to pull off.
What the fuck happened to my team?
Basically, fighting 1v3 9 out of 10 times doesn't work. Or 19 out of 20 times. Yeah, your team's struggling. They're not very good. We still probably...
Story of my life in ranked.
I mean, this game's still not over yet. As long as we save silence for Kata, she loses. But if we did pinch those early kills on Kel, we probably could have, like, 100% carried this. You can kill her still. Soraka E'd really early there. Do you see how she E'd before Kata used her R? And she just dies for it. Nice, just stay on top, fight it to the end, go kill it. Once she hits you, then Q. You did it early. You need to turn around and save your base.
I always forget.
Kill this guy. W. R. Kill Ash. Stride breaker. Ignite. Beat her ass.
I don't have anything.
You win, dude.
Oh my god.
You're a winner. Yeah, that's Garen versus Squishies. They just can't fight you.
Who's still up? Nobody. All right. I can complete an item with that. Rumble gave me 1,000 bounty.
Yep. Let's get an item. Probably Force of Nature. If it's a bunch of movement speed and HP and MR, it's gonna do a lot of work. I don't think. Why did you say Wit's End? I don't think Garen's E applies on hit. I know it applies to the Conqueror though.
Attack speed. Oh, well, the attack speed on Wit's End would apply to the E, wouldn't it?
I'm not sure. If that was the case, I would assume Garen would be a Bork champion. I don't think so.
Oh. I don't know.
Oh, apparently the old Wit's End used to work on Garen, but this new one doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't think it would work. If his E would apply on a hit, he would be building Bork 100% of the games.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That'd be just absurdly overpowered.
If we can win this team fight, good start, Diego.
Oh, just get your hands on someone, get your conk stats up. Anyone, just go in. Ashe isn't there. Take it. Do it. Take it, dude. Take it. Stride breaker.
I was waiting for the Katarina to show up.
It's fine. Just Q her. Use her W. Q the Kata. Get to
Where is she?
She's right there in the middle. Or her. See, you're... Oh... WE, yes, mash all your abilities, yes.
What the
base,
fuck?
Base, press B. Ashe is split pushing. Yeah, see, Garen's really fucking strong. Like that. This is why people ban him in low elo, because they just scrap with him and they don't kite him. Kill her, kill Ashe, just get right on her. Q stride breaker, chase her all the way, keep going. Stride breaker into her, slow. She's fucked. W for tenacity. Do it. That was a coward's move. She could have R'd you, dude. Press W. If there's nobody else.
Well, she wasn't attacking, so I figured I'd save it.
There's no need to save it. There's no one else here. Oh, it's funny. It's pretty funny watching you carry on Garen, though. This is a very weird thing to see. Like you never see this outside of. I guess you could still see this in like plat, maybe low diamond, but this is just fascinating. Ashe said thanks, Garen. Sassy. That is a broken man, dude. You've beaten his spirit, so now he's resorted to typing in all chat.
Oh, God.
Just get on top, Q stride breaker. Orange, yeah, orange's fine. You could have done that way sooner. Your R does like 1,000 damage if they're at a third or lower. So if you are going to use it, just use it sooner. But otherwise, you probably could just cut her down. Maybe you're afraid of her jumping out.
I was afraid of her dashing or something.
It's only you and Lux. Be careful here. They're under their turret, so this doesn't really work. Well, let them step up a little bit. It's tough because they're still under their turret. You have your Soraka grabbing top waves. You have Viego farming camps. This is a tough situation. I would turn on. Ooh. This is tough. Yeah, so here's the thing. We probably should just let Lux die next time. But we could still get away because Stridebreaker Q. But Lux is going to die because of the Rumble Slow. Or the Ashe R. Also, when the Ashe R is coming, we need to press W, rise this landing, and we'll get out of it like instantly. Because we'll have like over 50% tenacity. But basically, we were up there really far for no reason. Since we had no other teammates. And they're under turret, we can't really do anything. Hopefully your teammates base and try to stop this.
Oh, they'll get annihilated by the cat. Guys just have to stall for 20 seconds.
They're not hitting Ashe at all.
Yeah. Well, they're just letting the tanks. God damn
That's unfortunate, man. Very unfortunate. It happens, though. The biggest mistake we made in the late game was basically our teammates weren't there, and we tried to fight 1v4 near their turret. We just have to back off. It was very tempting since Lux was hitting skill shots. It's just not doable.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, solid, man. I'll send you a list of the things you need to look at to actively look for and try to improve on. But
okay,
take no shame in that loss. Look at the damage. Let's look at the charts. No, let's go to the graphs. Graphs look way prettier. Yeah, buddy. So you had the most damage on your team by a mile. Viego, it looks like he did less damage than Soraka. He wasn't even playing the game. He was playing like Candy Crush or something. Kata was hard carrying. And if we go to damage taken, let's look at that. These are the only No, click specifically on damage taken below that. Down, 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 down a little bit. There, you passed it. Right in the middle.
Physical damage.
No, damage taken, one above.
damage
Yes.
taken, got it.
So you took the most damage in the game. You did the most damage on your team. You could be happy with how you performed as a whole. The main thing is, I'll show you, for example. I'll do it quickie. So turn off your screen share. And then I'll turn on mine so you can see real quick. The main mistakes we made were early game, besides mechanical mistakes of just not like landing Q or whatnot.
So I can Q and then not land it, stride breaker into them, and I'll still stride breaker them and Q.
Yeah, your stride breaker doesn't cancel your Q. You can start up with Q stride breaker and then they're effed. Like they're so dead. Yeah, we'll take a quick little look. A quick little peek. A sneak little peek. You can see my cursor and everything on screen share Discord, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, not bad, man. You're carrying pretty damn hard there. The main mistake people are making in this elo is regardless of your level or your gold intake, there's many times where Ashe or Kale or Kata would just run at you. They wouldn't care what items or level you were. And then you'd crush them. Absolutely crush them. That's a big thing we have going for us on Garen. Manual. All right. So here's the thing. I like how he runs with those pants on.
They're so tight. How's he do it?
That's why I don't wear jeans. They kill me. I can't move in them. I did cross country and tennis and track and all that type of stuff. So I hate the idea of wearing jeans. Yeah. Can't move. So she fucks up at the start. As a range champion, you want to start like trying to pressure. And I know she's not a true range champ. She has to use her ability, but she needs to be in the game. So basically, ideally, what we do here is we get down to 3 autos. Since she's not here, we can leave that as our damage advantage and our first last hit advantage. To where when she goes in for her first last hit, we've already done ours. So we're not going to miss a minion. We can trade her off with a Q and some autos, right? Mm-hmm. But we take the first 3 autos, and then we hit that one. She steps up so far. So normally, people just step up within trade range to last hit. She just stepped up for no reason. Here, we should have just queued her. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I guess what I would worry about is last hitting that minion.
No, easy. You Q her, you back off, you auto this minion. It's fine, okay. But you'd have to do it right now. But mainly what you're looking at, what you need to know is when it comes to the last hitting, look at your range creeps. 24 damage, melees are 12, and melees don't really ever get more physical damage, right? Mm-hmm. You're not really looking at what your melee minions are hitting. You're looking at where these orbs are flying to. So you see one flying up there. Yeah. You see, like, you can already tell this minion's going to die. But... yeah. For example, she's just already last hit a minion. We didn't even punish it, and she's been out of position. Here, we should be standing right here instead, to where we can still threaten this minion take and still get this minion if we want to. But basically, every time she goes to hit a minion, as long as we're not losing a minion to do it, we need to be doing it. So we should basically hit her with 2 Qs by now. But instead, we're waiting. We get even after we get this minion and then lose that one. Okay, we finally do it to where we take the Q, but then we need to hit her with another auto.
Okay.
She only has 2 minions. It's not a big deal. She's silent. She's a weak early game champ. This should have been 1 to 2 more autos on top of her. She has 335 movement speed. Even after your Q movement speed's over, you have 340. So that was an easy 2 auto pinch.
Okay. That's something I don't do at all. I usually Q and then just back off.
Yeah.
So even sneak it in 1 extra.
Exactly. 1 or 2 autos can be a huge deal, especially if you have minion advantage and you know you're going to hit level 2 first. So at this point, you should be pushing all in on her. All in like right now, and I think we do. We call it. Look at that trade. You just got probably about a third of her health off that, and now you're gonna last hit these. You were gonna. So here, what you did was normally, you know how the melee ones get focused since they're in front. With the way her wave crashed, these 2 minions died way before. They're not even focusing this one, so we basically missed all of them there.
Yeah.
So, but what we would be looking at is, do you see how they're flying past this melee one?
Yeah.
You already know these are dead then. Like, you gotta hit them.
Okay, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. We speed it up. We get our ward down at a perfect timing. Junglers don't gank before 245 generally, especially full clear. So this is a really, really good ward. If he did a 3, 4, 5 camp clear, this would have caught it. Or if he does a full clear, this is going to catch it. If you're Raquel side of the map, you generally ward this bush right here because that's closer to their jungler. That's where they're going to be coming from.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a perfect. That looked like a high elo warding right there. And you did it after you crashed wave, so you couldn't pressure her anyways as a melee champ, and you weren't missing out on any minions. A very perfect ward. At this point, what do you think the wave's going to do over time? Looking at it from here.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Hers will push mine.
Exactly, because they're about the same HP. Even if you had one more minion than her wave would still push since it's reinforcing this much earlier. So at this point, even if you were in a bad spot, if your HP looked like hers, you could just chill back, heal, let the wave come to you, and you're only going to miss out on a few minions. If she is this close to her turret, you're only going to get an opportunity to take just raw, basically Q tiny E trades. You're probably not going to be able to multi-auto since she's under her turret. You could probably only Q, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at this point, that's fine. But if you can get away with it, we're going to take the multiple autos or the Q trade. So she's hard pushing now. She does have a big minion advantage with your W on Garen since it's damage reduction and a shield. Even if she has minion advantage, since you have HP advantage, you could probably trade this off here with W. Okay. Like when she goes in for this farther minion here, I would step up to like right here and just Q in on it. But she did give it. I don't know what she's doing. She gives that one. Now, okay, so you see how she's up that far?
Yeah.
That's a free Q. You just say you keep a little circle in your brain to where you know how far your Q can get you. And when they step in it, you punish them. Relentless.
Yeah, you make a good point to really think of the Q as an engage, which it is. It's a dash, but I don't take advantage of it enough as a gap closer.
Right. Yeah, that's your own, just about your only gap closer. This game, we actually rushed Stride Breaker. Realistically, tier 2 boots would have been fine too because her positioning is just like, she's still in your Q range here.
Yeah.
She's just not positioning, but generally against good range top laners, Stride Breaker's typically better, especially if you're not going to get jungle ganks, because like as you saw, once you had it, she's just permadying.
Yeah.
So we start mashing minions, even though we weren't going to miss one, and then she takes a trade on you, and this should have been a QE trade. She loses half her health. The only reason why she's not dead by now is she ran Corruption, so she's starting to chug. She's only used one so far, but we could get more out of her. And then this was probably one of the biggest mistakes we made early game. Her wave's pushing to us, so we can finally bring the wave out to where we have more room to chase. We can start zoning her off of minions. It seems like we randomly hit that one super, super early. We miss him. And then randomly that like freaked us out when she started hitting us to where we start pushing. But in fact, if we just take the Q trade back off, keep last hitting, she's so screwed. She's so screwed because you could basically freeze her wave back here. You have the whole wave to keep chasing her with these Q trades.
Yeah.
But when we E here, it served zero purpose. Absolutely
Great
zero.
pause.
We have our ward down. We're not trying to back to get item. It was just very unfortunate.
Yeah, I think it was just a moment of panic.
Yeah, just a little panic.
Output all I could.
And at this point, her wave's still pushing you, so it's not a big deal. She's got minion advantage. Her wave's reinforcing first, only last hit, and then when she goes into last hit, we need to take the Q trade here. So you want to stand as closest to your minion without taking damage as possible. And even if she does hit you with an auto attack when you're standing right here, you can trade off with your Q. You may take 3 autos, but she's going to take a Q. You'll out heal her. So it's not a big deal. Either way, you win the trade, but ideally, she hits the minion and then you hit her.
Okay.
Because you have just so much more HP, but we don't stand close enough. She takes it. She was in with range of Q here. We let it go. And then your challenger level ward sees the rumble, and at this point, we just back off. That was a really good ward. Once again, her wave's still pushing to us. She has range creep advantage, so she's still screwed. Her wave's still pushing to you. The pressure's on her, not on you. You have this ward. You just back off here. Easy decision. Since she's not following up and your junglers here, realistically, we should trade with these 3 range creeps onto this guy. Okay. If we were closer, they would, but we Q.
Yeah,
I'll show you.
I queued to try to get away from rumble.
Right, you queue to get away, and your queue's only been on. If you look, can you see this right here? This is the yellow stuff. It's only been on for about a third of its, maybe a quarter of its duration at this point. Yeah. And so we're trying to get away, and then we're like, oh wait, we should fight. And then as you turn, instead of hitting him with your Q, which is still up, just not the movement speed, we E. So now the silence and damage is gone. But ideally, this should have been a kill. Then we wrap up the kill shove wave and the game's over. But just a mechanical mistake. The W timing wasn't that bad. At this point, I don't know why he starts hitting the minions. But yeah, the fight gets kind of janky. Other than that, though, just focus on the minions, trading off those when your Q's up. And that's fine. You didn't get to her. That's fine. You're limit testing. You're understanding how far you can push it. And you're also forcing her to react to the play. If she doesn't, she's going to get hit. That's perfectly fine if the Q doesn't connect. I'd rather you go for it and learn.
It's denying CS.
Yeah. It's better to learn. You can go for it, deny CS and limit test than it is to just not use it. That's like the bad Riven players, low elo Riven players. They use their abilities way less than high elo Riven players. When League looks at the stats, they use the high elo Riven players are constantly spamming. The low elo Riven players hold on to their abilities even though they're low cooldown, no mana cost. It's actually the opposite for Thresh players. Low elo Thresh players are constantly, they're using their Q way too much. High elo Thresh players generally don't. They only really hook after they flay or if it's just a gimme. But all in all, solid. I'll send you a list of stuff outside of that. Pretty good though, man. I could definitely see you like easily escaping Iron. Just stick with the Garen. And in ranked, I wouldn't dabble with many other champions. You still haven't limit tested enough with Garen to understand what you can and can't do based off of people's levels and items. But solid stuff, dude. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me and I'll get back to you, all right?
Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
GG's, dude. Take it easy.